قدرته ان هو يطلع فوقيها.
First of all, this is normal because it is completing the cycle. We're approaching the end of the month, and that's normally what happens. And people start to collect profits, if you like. So what happened is expected.
Experts say that this decrease will quickly turn into an increase in the index at the start of the coming month. Lina Hasaballah, Nile TV International.
Thursday's debate highlights stories of the whole week on the international level. Mr. Aziz Al-Arab, we have heard the statements by the U.S. Secretary of State, Kerry, who said that the Brotherhood stole the Egyptian revolution. Why did this response come that late?
Because Mr. Kerry thinks that he's still dealing with the idiots of the colonies of the old days. We appease them by such a statement, bravo, hurrah, he is recognizing our revolution. And then, boys, you did bad with the law. Tell Mr. Kerry to clean his own backyard home. And I don't want to say what David Cameron said. I want to tell him to please let us do our own country, our way. I don't want to tell you to go to hell, but I tell you we run our country to our interest, not to the interest of the American colonialism.
Mr. Farid admitting the Brotherhood stole the Egyptian revolution by U.S. Kerry, what does it mean?
It means that they wake up, finally. I mean, we really have been through this
and how about the timing of declaring it?
It's clear,
this wake-up or alarm call?
It's clearly that now the Egyptian nation is ongoing. We are moving on the future roadmap. We've been almost accomplishing the constitution. We are having a referendum by the end of the month. So we stick to our plan. We stick to the democratization and to turning back to have a regular political sound and a good political system, and we're moving on that. And they realize that they finally they are losing the case. They are losing Egypt as a strong ally, as a strong country in the region. So definitely they have to come with this sooner or later.
We are overlooking one very important item.
Right.
The timing of Kerry's statement was the scare in America that Russians are back to the area. And they knew that they were losing Egypt. And consequently, they will lose the entire thing of the area. They saw that Saudi Arabia is mutinizing against their friendship. The entire Gulf is mutinizing and helping Egypt financially despite American instructions. America stops the spare parts and the military help, whatever it's worth, to find that those people who are supposed to be their loyal, I wouldn't say clients, but I would say loyal, at least allies, going out of their way to help Egypt despite that. Kerry saw that Egypt is being lost and that the design made by the Brotherhood has fallen down and cracked on earth to pieces forever. So he's trying to save the salvage situation, and all this lies and criminal accusation and is a load of rubbish. I'm sorry. I mean, if you see what is being done in America, you cannot say that our laws are... he wants to see Egypt democratic. Who the hell are you to see us democratic or not? Why don't you attend to your American democracy and close Abu Ghraib and close Guantanamo before you talk about decency?
On the economic levels this week as well, EU's Ashton signed 90 million euros in assistance to Egypt, and that was made after a meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister, Ziad Bahauddin. How is your reading to this meeting? What's the outcome? How far will this assistance help support?
It will definitely help support Egypt, but what really we need to do is to be, well, I'm sorry for using this term, but to be more wiser when we are talking about the governmental spending and the governmental plans for the economy. The current governmental plan, yes, it's theoretically speaking, it would be a very good plan, but on the application, it's not. The government got to be more careful, because by the end of the day, these millions of euros or millions of dollars will be paid back by the taxpayers. The government doesn't have a tree that flourish money. So you, me, and Mr. Ahmed and the others will be paying back this money. So it needs to be wisely utilized and wisely spent. The government is really spending a lot of money trying to stimulate the economy, but this is not the best way. They have to review the governmental spending and reduce it a little, and do some adjustments to the current governmental structure as a whole.
Right. Mr. Aiz Al-Arab, talking further about the law that was a popular demand for the people to regulate the protests after the people had complained. What's the way out for achieving a sense of consensus?
To impose the law to the very text, to stop demonstrations without permission for the very text.
Isn't it high time to retain back the sovereignty of the state?
To just have a state, and the sovereignty of the state, the prestige of the state. The whole idea of these demonstrations, you are saying, every here and there, 500 gangsters here and 1,000 gangsters there. The whole idea is to topple the state through toppling the law and showing that the state is unable to control the country. And the only way with such criminals is to impose the law by force. And if they stop in the way of the law, they be crushed to earth. Because you are dealing with criminals. You are not dealing with demonstrations or with free people or with opinions. Could you, under any circumstances, imagine the Brotherhood coming into the fold and accepting democracy? They say it flatly that democracy is atheist.
Definitely. There's no way back.
You have to deal with. We are two nations. The majority of civilian Egyptians of all norms and all religions, and the minority that wants to destroy this, either to rule us or to burn us to earth. That's what you are facing in, so you cannot sit down to discuss, would you give up the idea of killing me? Because he's not able to. He cannot change.
Regaining back, Mr. Farid,
Yes.
the prestige of the country and the respect to its institutions.
Yes. Well, definitely there must be retaining the prestige and the sovereignty and all these things. But we have to realize that the suppression, the use of force, the oppression of the people is not the way to bring back the sovereignty, the prestige of the state. No, it's enforcing and supporting the individual freedoms and rights. This is what makes a sovereign state. When the individuals feel their freedoms regulated, they feel it, the government support it, enforce it, then there will be a social peace, then there will be a sovereignty, then there will be a mutual respect between the citizens and the apparatus of the state. But when you are using force and you think high of yourself as a government or as one of the state devices of apparatus, and you start to impose the force on the people will definitely disregard this. They will definitely reject this. We saw that happen.
The law was a popular demand for the people to regulate the protests after the people complained.
I agree.
There was anarchy on the street. Things has limits, and at the same time, it was out of control. Yes, and the state had to retain back its prestige and protect the country's institutions.
Definitely, yes, this is correct. But
it shouldn't go this
not
way, in a way or another.
Suppression or oppression.
If you are
Mr. Aiz Al-Arab, a final word, because it's a recap
Time.
of the whole story. Yeah, time is out. Yeah.
a final word.
Right, yes.
The law has to be applied and strictly and severely. Otherwise,
Decisively.
if the law falls, the state will fall. And honest to God, I mean what I say.
Well, thank you very much, dear guests, for joining us on the Daily Debate for tonight. Mr. Ahmed Aiz Al-Arab, Vice President Al-Wafd Party, thank you very much for coming, sir.
Thank you for
to the
asking
Daily
me, and
Debate.
it's always a pleasure to have an argument with you.
Yeah,
and with
always
my
a
leaders.
healthy,
It's my pleasure,
a healthy
Shirley.
argument is always a benefit for all. Mr. Mohamed Farid, member of the Higher Committee of the Free Egyptians Party, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me and giving me such a great opportunity
Thank
to
you.
be with you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. That was the daily debate for tonight. I'm Farid.